Hello guys, how you all doing? Today is the February the 13th, 2018. This is my final fight prediction for the super middleweight semi-final of the World Boxing Super Series, which takes place this Saturday the 17th of February between Chris Eubank Jr. and George Groves. So the titles on the line will be the WBA super middleweight title and the IBO super middleweight title. So both guys beat their opposition in the quarterfinals in quite convincing fashion. Eubank, he had the first fight in October. He stopped Andy Yildirim in 3 rounds, and the following week, George Groves knocked out Jamie Cox in the 4th round in his fight, and that saved them two in the place, the semi-final between the two of them. So yeah, this is a fight I'm definitely looking forward to big time. I think it will be one of the best super middleweight fights in the Super Series, if not the best. It's too bad that this couldn't be the fight in the final. I actually have to say that. It's too bad that this couldn't be the fight in the final, to be honest. I know you obviously can't do that as such because of the landscape of it, but it's a very good semi-final fight. Now, as far as the super middleweight World Boxing Super Series, I haven't been overly impressed with it thus far. I think the cruiserweight one has been better, definitely as far as the semi-finals. Now, this semi-final fight here is definitely in the same bracket as the cruiserweight semi-final ones, but I don't think the other semi-final fight is just as good as the cruiserweight semi-final fights. But let's get on to the breakdown of the styles. This is an interesting one because you've got George Groves, who's got the sort of Adam Booth style, sort of keeps his left hand low, shoots out a good jab, and he's got a good bit of power behind his jab. And Groves has got a powerful right hand which he can throw well from long range. Groves' foot speed or footwork seems to be quite good, I think. I think he boxed quite well on the back foot. He boxes quite well in centre ring. I think his pivoting and kind of angles and stuff like that, I think he's, pretty good. And he also has good punching power. Eubank, on the other hand, is a freak athlete. Very fast, athletic, very good combination puncher and good hand speed. I don't think his footwork is as good as George Groves is. As far as Junior, he's a good fighter too, and this makes it interesting. As far as what both guys need to do to win, I think Groves needs to try and exchange try and catch Eubank in an exchange. If he wants to knock Eubank Jr. out, he has to try and catch him when he's in the middle of throwing one of his combinations, and try and catch him with something good. And it's going to be tricky because Eubank Jr., as far as I'm aware and as far as I've seen in his fights, seems to have a good chin, seems to have a solid chin. It's not going to be easy for Groves to knock Junior out. I do think that there could be a chance that Groves could outpoint him, but he would have to keep the work rate quite regular, and I would need to regularly be trying to punch and score points, and maybe try and use angles in Eubank and try and neutralise his attack. So it's a big ask, if you ask me. So I think that's what George Groves needs to do. As far as Eubank himself, I think he needs to, if he can take it to Groves and maybe make Groves come out of his comfort zone, or he can make Groves throw a lot of power shots and take the energy out of him in the early rounds. I think that's his best bet, is to try and make Groves gas himself out and to try and make Groves drain himself of his own stamina and try and take Groves out down the stretch. I could still see Eubank, but at the same time I could still see him just beating George Groves on points on a decision. But yeah, I think he needs to try and take him out late. I think try not to force the knockout. I think just bring Groves into deep water and then take him out in the last few rounds and try and beat him that way, rather than trying to just land bombs and try and get him out. I think that's what Groves should try and do to knock Eubank Jr. out. Before I wrap this up and give my verdict on who's winning, I just want to say that Groves says about knocking Eubank Jr. out early. Whether he's just saying this to try and be funny, or to unsettle Eubank, or to give himself confidence, whatever the reason, he's definitely not going to knock Eubank Jr. out early. Neither of the guys not going to knock each other out early. Like, him knocking Eubank Jr. out in 3 or 4 rounds is virtually impossible, if you ask me, unless he catches him flush clean on the chin and follows up or whatever. But that's a very unlikely scenario, in my opinion. I'm going to give my final prediction on the fight itself now, and my prediction for the fight is that Eubank Jr. is going to win. Now, I don't know necessarily if he wins on points or if he stops Groves. I think maybe with the work rate he could maybe stop Groves, but I'm talking 10 or 11 rounds it'll take to stop Groves. I don't think he'll knock Groves out cold or nothing like that. I think he has the chance to stop him on his feet. He might have the chance to knock him down and then stop him on his feet, but I don't see him knocking Groves out cold. I just don't think he has the punching power to do so, but I do think he has the work rate to stop Groves and get a TKO victory over him. He could also win on points, I think. As I said before, I think there's a good chance that he could just take it the points if he doesn't want to take any risks and just win the fight in points easily. But if Groves wins, I will not be surprised in the slightest. I think Groves is still every chance of winning himself. I think Groves will more likely beat Eubank Jr. on points. I don't see Groves stopping Eubank or knocking him out or even knocking him down, in my opinion. I just don't think he can. But I do think that he can maybe try and outbox Eubank, and that might work, because I said George is the better technician in there. He's not the better athlete, but he's the better technician, and he's a wiry veteran, and he's an experienced guy in the ring. He's boxed at top level before against Carl Froch. Yeah, he came up short, but he's still, he's used to fighting in front of big crowds and that, so that makes it all the more interesting. He's boxed in front of 8,000 people before, so nerves probably won't get to him that much. But yeah, let me know your opinion on this good fight below. Let me know your opinion on this exciting matchup, and let me know what you think in the comment section below this video. This is Pugilist King. Thanks for watching.